Hey, howdy, how's it going? It's Guy with a Hat, and this is my second weekly devlog for my current game project, Project Loner. Just to catch any new eyes up to speed, like I said, I'm Guy with a Hat. I'm working on a video game right now. It's under the alias Project Loner. I don't have an official name for it yet, uh, but it's just going under the encompassing name Project Loner. It's a survival horror game that I would say takes a lot of inspiration gameplay wise from Resident Evil and Metro, with the Stalker look and aesthetic, and also some gameplay elements from Stalker stacked on top of that. Although I'm more inspired from the book that Stalker's based on, Roadside Picnic. I just use Stalker because it's a more recognizable IP. And what I mean by all of that is the gameplay loop and level design of survival horror games such as Resident Evil and Metro, also combined with the gameplay aspects from Stalker, such as anomalies and artifacts. So anomalies and artifacts introduced to the gameplay loop of survival horror like Resident Evil or Metro. And the game will not be taking place in the Stalker universe directly. I'm more so just inspired by the ideas of having a zone, having artifacts, and having anomalies. And I also won't be borrowing anything from Stalker other than just those ideas. Like, I'm not borrowing any characters, I'm not borrowing any specific anomalies from Stalker, not borrowing any specific artifacts from Stalker. Just the ideas behind them. I've come up with all original and also no enemies from Stalker. I'm trying to keep everything as original as possible because I think it's okay to borrow ideas from games as long as you have enough of your own original spin on it, which I feel confident as I have. So, biggest thing in this devlog is I'm done with the boring bits. The design work for the project is entirely done, 100%. And I'm exactly right on schedule, which is very good. I'm very glad I managed to do that. I have the roadmap right here, which is publicly available to anybody who's interested. It's on my GitHub. Um, as you can see right here, over the past 3 months, I've been doing design work for this game. The first day that I started idea crafting for it was October 7th, and January 5th is, the end of coming up with ideas and articulating them into an organized manner. And I'm kind of surprised that I'm right on time. I'm very glad that I am, because now it's the actual production part of the game. What I mean by like design work is I have this design documentation right here that's on the right side of the screen. Essentially, what the design documentation will be, it's a very organized and articulated collection of ideas that I came up with for Project Loner, in a readable manner to which I can share with my team because I'm working with a small team on this. So this will be passed off to them, to help and to help with in their own departments with what they're working on. I'm doing all of like the artwork and programming all by myself, so this is mostly just a document for me. But I can also show it to my friends and let them know what's going on. And this is essentially the Bible of the project. During development, this will be heavily referenced throughout the entire development process of the game because this contains all of the ideas that I came up with and all of the ideas that I thought, yes, this would work well for the game. That's all been defined in this document, and it's 100% done. So the role that this plays, the role that this plays in development, like I said, it's treated as the Bible for the project and will remain mostly untouched. If during development and during playtesting an idea that I came up with ends up not being as fun as I thought it would, then this will be revised to fit such change. But as of right now, all of these ideas I feel as though would work well, for the style of game that I'm going for. And so that's that. Uh, and then on the roadmap here, as it shows right here, today begins in-engine development. So I'm making the game in Unity. I defined out some data structure stuff on the design documentation. I think I had this public at one point in time, but I don't think that's a very good idea, as this is not necessarily secretive, but I would like to not show everybody everything for the project all at once. I'd like to keep some stuff under wraps. Just so people stay interested, not feeding everybody all sorts of information, but just letting people know, hey, I have documentation for this, and I'm gonna start working on it programming wise. And so the stream should get more interesting. I should also mention I've been streaming almost every day over winter break, doing development stuff, or I guess more so design work stuff. I haven't done any actual development yet, but that starts today. So um, my schedule is going to change when school starts, but that's not until the 16th. So from now until the 16th, I've been streaming every day, 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. Eastern Standard. And from now on, that will feature me doing dev work in Unity. I think that should be a lot more interesting for people. And as I have defined right here in the roadmap, I think I should be able to finish the game environment and finish the coding for everything in a somewhat acceptable state in about 6 months. I think I'm overestimating my talents a little bit, depending on my workload for this semester, because I am a senior in school right now. Depending on my workload, this could end up changing. I feel as though I should be fully transparent with that. Hopefully, that doesn't instill too much anxiety or distrust in the project, as I am very passionate about this, and I feel as though um, if somebody were to glance at what I'm doing, they would understand that I've been working every day on this. I have genuinely been working every day since October on this project. Um, and I've never given myself any kind of deadlines before, but thankfully, the deadlines that I gave myself for the design process were essentially, right on schedule, right on time. The schedule that I gave myself, I was able to meet. That makes me very happy. We'll see how it is for code, because generally I'm a much better coder than I am a designer. I learn a lot more by actually doing than thinking things out ahead of time. But this is how things are done in industry. This is what I was told by my teacher back in high school. The trade professional dude was absolutely incredible with what he did. Extremely smart. He instilled my passion for programming. He told me that this is how it's done in industry, and I would like to follow suit with that with game development for this project. And after this project is done, I have other games that I would also go through this exact same design process with. So about 6 months for the development process on that. And what I'll be working on first is setting up the architecture of the game. And what I mean by that is adding at the most basic level features for the game. So at the most basic level, adding some kind of inventory system, adding a movement system, adding a shooting system, adding gun data, like save loading information, doing level design, and that is all what's going to happen during this process. And if I had to guess, I feel 50% confident in myself that I'd be able to meet this deadline. If I were to extend the deadline by another 2 months, I'd say that raises I would raise my confidence level in completing this to 75%. But I'd like to try and meet this deadline before I change anything. That's just what I have written down for right now. And this is all public info. I'll put it down in the description for anybody who's interested in following along with this. And I think other than that, I don't have much else to share with what's going on. I get to start, actually writing code now. And that's very exciting for me. It's my favorite part of doing anything in game development, is actually writing the code for it. And that's all I have to share for this. Is I'm very glad the boring bits are done. If anybody decides to stop by for game dev stuff now, the streams will be a lot more interesting. Because at least for me, I would find watching somebody write code and play testing for a game is much more interesting than just having a text document open. But that's okay. The streams that I do weekly are more for archival sake, I guess, rather than trying to get. Although there is a little bit of trying to gain viewership, because I would like to have some kind of audience before I decide to release the game. I would like for people to play this. I would like to advertise for it. I would like to have more eyes on the project. But that's not as important to me as just simply doing this as a as my own personal project, wanting to make a video game. That's much more important to me than trying to get some kind of fan base. But is two things will happen. My game is either successful or it's not, and either situation is okay. If this is successful, then I feel as though I've instilled confidence in my abilities as a game developer. And what I would do in that case is I would just do indie development. I have a couple of other game projects that I'd like to do. After I get this done, this takes priority right now, though. Just worrying about getting this game done before I start worrying about other games. But if this doesn't end up being successful, then I would still gladly go into industry. This can be used as a resume piece. And even if I got a regular job in industry for game development, I would still be working on games on the side. They would just take a lot longer to develop because I would have my regular job. I wouldn't have as much time to get as much done as I am now. Due to the fact that I am still in school, I'm going to take advantage of that fully. And just work on this as much as I can because I'd really like to release this. I'd really like to release this before I graduate. And I think for an official release date, I think it's December 30th of this year. Let me scroll over to that. Yeah, my estimated release is December 29th of this year. And we'll see. I'm not sure how confident I am in that. This is all just an estimation, but we'll see as time goes on. And I think other than sharing that I'm just transitioning from design process to development process, about how long it will take, what I have planned for it, I think that's all I've wanted to share for the devlog. I'm sure there's other stuff that I should probably be going over, but this is, I guess, just more of an announcement that the boring bits are done. Now the project is going to, involve a lot more fun stuff. Actual programming, actual game development, rather than just this design documentation nonsense. But like I said, this is necessary. This is what people in the industry do. Actually designing stuff before actually writing code makes writing code insanely easier. And that's, I think if I add anything more, this is starting to turn into myself rambling. I think that's all I've just wanted to share for right now. Um, so just as a quick little sign off, down in the description, I'll be posting links to my social media. On Twitter, I announce small game dev stuff here and there. I have an Instagram that I post game art to, and to the Instagram, I also have a TikTok and also the YouTube Shorts. I post, if anybody's interested in that, I post stream clips to those. I've also been thinking about doing full-length edited stream videos, but I'd rather focus on the actual development aspect than the content creator aspect of this whole process. Just because that's why I'm doing it. I'm doing this to develop a game. I'm not doing this to become a YouTuber. But we'll see. I think I'm just gonna sign off on that point. I'm starting to, like I said, I'm starting to get kind of rambly and preachy. Very, very exciting stuff. I'm glad that I'm on time with the design stuff, and I'm very glad to actually start writing code. So in the description will be my social media stuff if anyone's interested in that. I'll also be posting a link to the project if anybody's interested on checking that out, keeping up with, where I am in development. And that's it. So, check all that stuff out if you're interested. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jargon. Don't actually do that.